You thought this channel was dead, didn't you? Nope, I'm back everybody, and look what I just dug up. And man, what a way to come back with a rare one. This is the Epiphone Zakk Wylde Graveyard Disciple coffin guitar. In this super cool coffin case, it even has the custom shop diamond up here. Cool guitars like this one are the reason I started my YouTube channel, and I mean, look at this thing, it has so many unique features. And I'm eager to show all of... a crow just flew by. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. It's a coffin guitar, it's a signature model, so much to talk about, and it has a cool story behind it as well. Allow me to introduce the Graveyard Disciple.
My buddy was just talking about it one night, and I go, yeah, I was like searching through, vintage guitar like eBay or anything that you can Google nowadays to try and look for, one of those guitars or something like that. So it's just like thumbing through it, and then I remember a promotional item, I guess, our merch company, Bravado, gave us. Felix gives me this thing. It was the shape of a coffin, the shape of this guitar, and it had the Black Label logo on it, and then it had lollipops in it, with all the song titles and stuff like that. But I was just laughing. I mean, looking at the thing, it's about like this big. I just put it down on a piece of paper and drew a neck on it. And I said, man, that'd be pretty cool if they made a guitar out of it. Instead of, so I'd have my own like Bo Diddley guitar, you know what I mean? So they ended up making the thing. I just thought it was going to be like a goof type thing when they made it. But I mean, they did an awesome job on it. I mean, I was shocked when I got it, the way it plays and everything like that. I was saying it because it almost kind of, sitting down here, it plays like an SG, but and actually, pretty much it's real similar to an SG in that regard because it has a the all mahogany body, just one piece, like on an SG, but the neck has the like on my Les Pauls, but the neck's more streamlined, kind of like an SG or like a 1960s, like a classic neck on a Les Paul, but it has an ebony fretboard with the maple neck. With the back of the neck is maple, which I have on my Les Pauls, Zakk Wylde Les Pauls. But the thing plays great though, man. I love it with the Floyd Rose and the whole 9 yards, the whole kit and caboodle. So, and the EMGs, obviously. On mine, I always put the active ones in them. But what they did for the signature one, they end up putting the passive guys in there, to give everybody the option if they want to have the passive ones or get the live ones. But yeah, but aside of that, they did a slamming job on this.
The Graveyard Disciple was introduced to the public all the way back in late 2009. Here's the official Epiphone website from back then, and here it is under the new models banner. The official production was from 2010 to 2012, and here's the official Epiphone website from 2012. We see some interesting models under electric guitars like the Prophecy, Les Paul, Another cool model that I wanna check out is the 2012 Rob Flynn Flying V. Interesting fact, this guitar used to hang right beside my Graveyard Disciple in the same shop. What else is interesting in 2012? Yeah, the Jeff Waters Annihilator V. Here it is, the Graveyard Disciple. And here we have the Les Paul Custom Silver Burst. I wanna try one of these. On the second page, some more cool stuff. The Nicky 6 Blackbird bass is pretty cool. Ooh, check it out, the 84 Explorer in black. You don't see these nowadays. The Zakk Wylde Custom, of course, the Bullseye. Tom's cool ES333, the GOT Explorer and the GOT Les Paul. I have reviews for both of these, I'm gonna link them. Here's the official listing for the Graveyard Disciple in the Epiphone website for 2012. EMG, HZ, Tremolo and the ebony color. What do we got here? You may have already caught a glimpse on YouTube of Zakk performing live on the classic Pedal to the Metal tour. Yeah, here's a video shot on a potato. But most importantly, on screen are the official specifications. You can pause and read them, and I'm gonna walk you through them in the length of this video. Some more info about the body. Damn, that's a cool shape. That's a weird guitar. The passive EMG pickups, I want you to notice the gold and silver logos. These will become relevant later in the video. What's interesting about the hardware, the guitar features the brilliantly designed and patented Steinberger leg rest. It's a cool feature that I didn't know about and I'm gonna demonstrate for you guys. Last but not least, the coffin case, which absolutely makes the guitar. Unfortunately, my personal guitar didn't come with a certificate of authenticity because the shop lost it. And there's a good reason for that. It is a new old stock 2012 guitar, and let me tell you the story behind it. Here's the thing, I started playing guitar actively in 2011, but I started going to shops and buying guitars in 2012. Back then I was buying all sorts of crazy stuff. I was experimenting with the 8-string Meshuggah Ibanez, the Buckethead Gibson Les Paul Studio signature model. So I was definitely into experimenting, and I saw this guitar on the wall all the way back in 2012. They still had that on the wall. But even for me it was kind of crazy, like a coffin shape, Floyd Rose, all sorts of features that I didn't understand and didn't want. And here's the thing, I work in a music shop and that particular shop that had the coffin guitar is right next door. So throughout the years I was seeing this guitar being played, I was asking, nobody wants it, what's the deal with it? I know it's crazy, but why is it still sitting here? The guys that work in the shop told me, well, people try it occasionally, but they see it as a gimmick, not as a functional guitar. And here's the thing, the Graveyard Disciple is a good functional guitar. I'm guessing that no one was brave enough or stupid enough to wanna own one of these, but I'm your guy. And here's the thing, I bought this one cheap. It was around 700 euro, which is pretty nice considering that this is a 2012 signature model with a cool case. And I also bought it new old stock from an official dealer with a warranty. These rarely pop on Reverb or eBay. I think there's one right now in France that goes for 1,500 euro, which is a lot. So yeah, you might say that I got a great deal on it, but I didn't buy it to flip it. My intention was to do a proper review and then hang it on the wall behind me as a decoration. But unfortunately, as most of my cool guitars, somebody notices and they're like, oh, can you sell it to me? And I'm like, sure, fine. I didn't make much money off it, but it's in good hands at least. First things first, this is a 2012 new old stock model that has been sitting on a shop wall and has been tried by a lot of people. It also has the stock 2012 strings and you can definitely see that. These are absolutely disgusting and they gotta go. Here's a life hack for you. I have to remove all 6 strings and I need the Floyd to stay level as I do that, but I don't have a 9-volt battery laying around, so I'm gonna use this iPhone charger. 12-year-old strings, guys. I don't know, we can still use this. What do you think? Nah. Another reminder, once you remove the strings with a 3mm Allen wrench, remember to tighten these bolts that hold the blocks that press on the strings, otherwise you're gonna end up losing them. Just tighten them by hand. Before I remove them, check it out, the back plates still have the protective film on them. Of course I'm gonna take it off, but I just wanted to share it with you. I've spent half a goddamn hour looking for my Allen set just to find out that there's a set back here on the headstock and there's an additional one in the case. God damn it. Anyway, here's another tip for you guys on how to better organize your guitar care and cleaning materials. You can find in places like IKEA baskets like this that I'm using to store all my materials, and they have this tray that I'm using for all of the screws from the guitar. It even has separate compartments that I'm using to better organize them. That's especially useful to me because I like to return all of the screws exactly where I took them off from. Well, that's weird. Usually when you install the EMG pickups, these pins should be facing down. They were installed the wrong way around on the pickup. You see these? Same goes for the bridge pickup. It's installed the wrong way around. Pickups out of the way give us a good look of the cavities. Starting with the neck pickup cavity, you see the neck joint. It's not exactly a long neck tenon, but this is just how it connects to the body. Routing for the EMG cables that connect to up here where the three-way switch is, going through down there, all the way to the back to the electronics. Another angle reveals the color of the mahogany body. I'm not sure how many pieces of mahogany, and I think this is a thin piece of mahogany veneer on the top. I'm not exactly sure. Now it's the time for me to be nitpicky. And we're back to screws again. I'm not particularly happy about the fact that this is a slanted low pickup ring, as you can see, low profile. And usually when you use these, front screws should be short. And yeah, in fact, you can see that they're using short screws. But why 3 short and 1 long? Should be 2 short, 2 long. But look at this, 3 short and 1 long. You see, little details like this piss me off. At first I thought, oh, what a nice attention to detail, 2 short screws, but no, then I found out that they were just using what they had at the moment. Anyway, I'm glad I got this out of my system. A slightly taller pickup ring should have 4 long screws. Here's something that got me really puzzled though. In the neck position, we have the gold logo, EMG HZ, these are passive pickups, they don't require a battery. And we have the H4A EMG, made in 2012 in USA, no surprise here. Here's the thing, the H4A should be in the bridge position. Let's check those specs and pictures again. I have an educated guess that the logos are wrong, but let's double check that. In the specs it says that the neck pickup is HZ4 and the bridge is HZ4A. Now if we check the pictures, we got the gold logo in the neck position and the silver logo in the bridge. What do we got in the guitar? We have the neck position, gold logo, HZ4A, and in the bridge we got the silver logo, H4, again made in 2012. To confirm my theory, here are the readings. Now the bridge pickup is selected and it reads 692 k ohms, which is a reading for a neck pickup. You see, usually the bridge pickup is hot, the neck is more mellow. Switching over to the neck pickup, and yeah, sure enough, 13.38. This is pretty hot and it's supposed to be a bridge pickup reading. Just to be absolutely sure, I've removed the bridge pickup and now it's only reading the neck, which is still 13.38. So this one definitely should go back in the bridge position. In order to do that, I gotta unscrew the pickup rings because the bridge pickup ring is slightly higher than the neck, as you can see here. Annoying. There we go, order is restored. Now the bridge pickup is selected and the H4A is in this position, reading 13.42. Switching over to the neck should give us the mellow reading 697.98, which is the correct reading for this one, and middle position 463. And again, it's not absolutely perfect because you see the position of the pins. This is reversed. This is the correct way to do it. The pins should be facing down. So somebody made a huge mess when wiring this guitar, but I cannot go through it right now. I made it work like this, it reads correctly, so it is what it is. I think it should be fine now, at least the bridge pickup, which is important, and I think that's one of the main reasons the guitar didn't sell throughout the years. The body and top, as you already saw, all mahogany body, probably 3 pieces at least with a slight mahogany veneer, and you saw from the video that originally this guitar was supposed to have sort of a metal look to it, probably some sort of a top, but they decided not to go with it, probably some interference with the pickups or something like that, so I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm glad they went with the all black look because I love it. Plain black with these silver sparkle stripes along the side. The way they are sharpened almost makes it look like a spider. It's only missing the cross on the top, but look, there's also a slope along the edge of the guitar. It's not absolutely flat. It is a cool shape and not just a huge slab of wood. The neck is where this guitar becomes a little bit familiar to me. I say a little bit because obviously there are differences, but this neck reminds me of the Prophecy Les Paul. The main reason is that the back of the neck is satin. Of course, there are only 22, not 24 frets. The headstock is the same, and the block inlays remind me of the Prophecy. Of course, the Prophecy has abalone triangle inside the inlays, but still, they're pretty familiar. So 22 medium jumbo frets, binding alongside the neck, and black side dots. As I mentioned, this is a 12-year-old guitar, so the binding has started to yellow a little bit. Beautiful and consistent pearloid inlays. And check this out, this is natural ebony, which is rare for 2012. They used to choose the blackest of black, but I like the pattern on this one. This is a gorgeous looking guitar in person, and I had to give you guys another look at natural light. Just look at the ebony fingerboard. Almost looks like rosewood, but it is ebony. And this is pearloid abalone inlay for the headstock and the logo Epiphone. And look how it dances on different light. Just, I don't know, man, this is a cool headstock. You have the 3 screws bell, which says Graveyard Disciple GD. Here's a closer look at that cross, and the Epiphone logo, old style of the headstock before the inspired by Gibson. Here's another look at the Epiphone bell, 3 screws, 2-ply, Graveyard Disciple with a pretty cool recessed font. Here's something cool and interesting that I'm seeing for the first time, especially for an Epiphone. You see the opening for the truss rod cover cavity? It has binding along the edges. 2-way adjustable truss rod by a 4mm Allen wrench, and the maple neck is clearly visible here. Wow, I'm truly surprised that they bound the opening for the truss rod cover. Well, I guess first time for everything, at least first time I see something like this. Here's a side view of the headstock. The binding around the nut has started to crack, which is normal for these types of guitar that have locking nut. But I'm a bit confused by the veneer of the headstock. You have a clear layer, then a white layer. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think that's binding around the headstock. It is multiply, but some sort of layering going on here. I'm not even gonna try and guess. Okay, if I have to guess, I would say a scarf joint for the headstock with mahogany veneer on top of that, a clear coat of polyurethane, then some sort of binding. Anyway guys, feel free to correct me if you're seeing something that I'm not, but it is what it is. The nut is 41.5mm wide or 1.63 inch. The 12th fret is at 52mm or 2.04 inch. Thickness at the first fret 20.5mm or 0.80 inch. Thickness at the 12th fret 22mm or 0.86 inch. The fingerboard radius is a shreddy 14 inch or 350mm, and we got 24.75 inch scale length, which is typical for a Les Paul, the type of guitar Zakk plays. Before I talk about the back of the guitar, I want to talk about the side of it and check out the position of the 3-way switch. Kind of a weird position, and I tend to bump into it with my left titty. The bottom side of it has the output jack in this position, and we're gonna get to this in a second. One of the biggest concerns that a lot of people have with this guitar is it gonna be comfortable playing when sitting down with this weird shape? Surprisingly, it's one of the most comfortable guitars because of a quirk it has down here. You see, Gibson owns the Steinberger company, and the Steinberger guitars have these sort of steps which position like this. You open them up and then it grips to your thigh when you're playing sitting down. So you don't have to worry about the guitar slipping from your leg. Well, it is still facing a little bit upward, the neck, so you're gonna be comfortable if you're playing in the classical position. I give you guys the Steinberger leg rest, or I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. It even has grooves on the inside for better grip. Cool. Here's what the back of the guitar looks like, just plain black gloss. Same as the top, it has a bit of a slope here around the edges. Featuring 3 compartments. The first one is for the 3-way switch, and you can see the switch inside. I think it's the long one that Gibson uses as well. Of course, this one is a cheapo that works with the EMG pickups. Then there's the compartment for the springs and the tremolo system. It is Floyd Rose special, I forgot to mention. Then there's the electronics compartment, a lot of space here for activities. The passive pots for the EMG, treble bleed, ground wire, and the output jack down here. You can do a lot of things back here. If you don't like the position of the 3-way switch, you can reroute it to back here or put active EMGs with the electronics back in here. Here's what the cover for the three-way switch looks like. It has satin finish and shielding on the back side, 2 screws. Here's the cover for the springs, shielded on the back side and satin finish. I have a couple of complaints about it. First, it doesn't feature the holes to adjust the screws on the back of the system, and it's not recessed into the body. Here's the cover for the electronics, shielded on the inside and satin finish for the front. Strap button on the back and one here in the front, like on Explorer and HG guitars. They couldn't place it on the top horn because it's gonna get in the way of the three-way switch. They did what they had to do, I guess. Back of the neck shows us the set neck heel and satin finish, which leaves fingerprints when you touch it like this. As I said, it reminds me of the Prophecy a lot, but again, the Prophecy has 24 frets, this one has 22. Zakk prefers 22 fret guitars like most of his Les Pauls. It is surprisingly thin compared to his Les Pauls actually, and here are the screws for the locking nut in front. Back of the headstock features this cool graphic, Graveyard Disciple and Zakk holding his signature bullseye Les Paul. It is made in Korea. Here's the sticker for it, compliance regulation stickers, the Grover Rotomatic 18:1 ratio, limited edition custom shop sticker on the back, 4mm Allen wrench, 3mm Allen wrench on the headstock and the serial number which reads 120421. April of 2012, which is one of the last I guess of these, and made in Korea. As I guessed, a D-shaped neck profile, a little bit on the flat side, feels a lot like the Prophecy as I already mentioned. Back of the headstock without the Allen wrenches reveals the limited edition custom shop Epiphone sticker, and I've removed one of the Grover automatic tuners to weigh it. This one weighs 46 grams, the entire construction, and it has these markings on the inside. My favorite set of strings, 946 elixir coated for this guitar. I'm gonna set it in E standard and drop D for the demo. Later on I'm gonna block the trem. Speaking of the trem, Floyd Rose special instead of Floyd Rose original, but I guess it's okay, it holds the tuning well, and this is the trem arm, the old style, which screws on. Typical layout with a three-way switch, 2 humbuckers, master volume and a master tone. Even though this guitar is weird looking, it feels normal, I guess. Knurled metal knobs like the ones on the Prophecy. I love the coffin case for this guitar, it absolutely makes it. It has Graveyard Disciple, the Black Label Society logo, beautiful graphic. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 latches. Interesting fact, Epiphone didn't make these. It is a third-party company, and I'm gonna show you the label for them. Coffin case logo here, and this is the original sticker. I told you that this is a new old stock guitar, so the label is still here. Congratulations on the purchase of your new coffin case. Nice. You can pause and read the information of the company that makes these, blackrose.com. I have to check them out. I think they did a great job of selecting and probably manufacturing, especially for this Epiphone Graveyard Disciple, the case. It fits like a glove, or should I say like a coffin. Beautiful color and pattern. It's not that soft to the feel, even though it has a lot of padding. I love how they accommodated for the three-way switch. As I said, this is tailor-made for the Epiphone Graveyard Disciple. Features this huge compartment with a leather handle and leather on the back side. The certificate of authenticity used to sit here, the Allen wrenches, the trem arm, the key for the case and some silica gel. I love this thing, it's such a unique feature. Let me do a little walk around to see what's on the other side of the case. I have to close it. Has a bit of a scratch. This was done in the shop because the guitar was obviously sitting, the case especially, in their back compartment or the basement of the shop, I don't know. But it is what it is, guys. It's rare to find these guitars, especially new old stock. Here's the downside, the bottom side of the case. It has these 3 supports, and this latch is the locking one I forgot to mention. It weighs as much as a corpse at 4,305 grams or almost 10 pounds. Now let's hear the Graveyard Disciple. what I like about this guitar? Epiphone went all in with it. It has the cool case, it has the cool shape, the proper specs. It is a proper playing guitar. It has the certificate of authenticity, even though mine doesn't, and it's a proper signature model for a cool artist, Zakk Wylde. You don't see guitars like these very often, especially nowadays. Schecter tried to do it with the Razor guitar, but they failed miserably and people hated that guitar. I'm not gonna go into further details, I'm not even gonna show it to you, but it's a signature from Machine Gun Kelly, and fuck this guy, seriously. Whichever way you look at it from, the Zakk Wylde Epiphone Graveyard Disciple is a cool guitar. What makes it even better is the fact that it's not only a good looking and a cool guitar, it plays nice and sounds good. Maybe the passive EMG pickups are not my cup of tea, but that's an easy swap. Remember, even Zakk swapped them for the 8185 set, I think, in the promotional video. Would this guitar have been better if it had the metal-like top, like from the Zakk Wylde video? No, I don't think so. I like it in all black with the pinstriping. Would I recommend you buy one? Yes, for the proper price. I managed to get it pretty cheap for 700 euro, it's a no-brainer. But for 1500, 2000, I'm not sure. Only if it's in mint condition with the certificate and the case. Nevertheless, it's an important guitar, and especially important one for my channel, because these are the guitars that started me into making videos, interesting stuff like this. Yeah, I know it cannot always be coffin shaped and wacky guitars, but occasionally I wanna review something different. I'm already having seller's remorse about this one. I wanted it to hang on my wall for a while for decoration, but hey, it is what it is. It's going into good hands and it's gonna be played a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the Graveyard Disciple.